You're trying to eat right, but today's grocery stores are not giving you what you think. Some of that produce is crawling with rodents, covered in black mold and sitting weeks past their expiration dates. This is not the food you grew up with. What we're about to uncover will show you why grocery shopping in these 5 stores is more dangerous than ever before. Starting with Asda. In 2025, Asda made headlines for all the wrong reasons when they were slapped with a £640,000 fine. The reason? Inspectors found 115 expired food items sitting on their shelves. Not 1 or 2 forgotten products, 115. In 2 Cardiff Asda superstores, meat, dips and produce were being sold up to 12 days past their use-by dates. The pattern was so egregious that a judge handed Asda one of the biggest fines in recent memory. Selling food well past its expiration isn't just poor quality control, it's illegal, it's dangerous. And the fact that Asda's staff either missed or ignored dozens of overdue labels suggests a stunning breakdown in stock rotation. But the expired dates are just the beginning. Asda also had to recall bags of chopped spinach nationwide because they might contain pieces of metal. Yes, metal shrapnel in your frozen spinach. The Food Standards Agency issued urgent alerts telling customers, do not eat this product and to return it immediately. It's hard to imagine a more literal example of contaminated greens. This wasn't nutritional iron. This was actual metallic fragments that could have caused broken teeth or internal injuries. Asda called it precautionary, but it exposed supply chain negligence that could have seriously harmed you. Everyday shoppers echo these horror stories with their own complaints. Rotting vegetables have become common in Asda's aisles, especially since Asda removed many best before labels in a supposed bid to cut waste. Customers report finding lots of rotten vegetables on shelves. One shopper bought onions from Asda that looked fine on the outside, but discovered every single one was rotten inside by the very next day. Another customer opened a bag of Just Essentials veg, only to find it had been sitting on the shelf weeks past when it should have been pulled. When you shop at Asda, you're essentially gambling. You might get fresh produce, or you might get expired yogurt, stale vegetables, and the lingering question of whether that spinach bag contains metal fragments. You're paying for the privilege of having to throw food straight into your bin at home. Now let's talk about Morrisons. You might shop there because it feels reliable, but in late 2024, that image shattered when a busy Morrisons in Chingford, East London, was forced to shut its doors immediately due to a rat infestation. Not a few rats, an infestation. Council inspectors who arrived at the scene found the store in very poor cleanliness, with active rat and mouse infestations running through the premises. They even found leaking water and flooding in the building, creating the perfect breeding ground for vermin. Think about that for a moment. Imagine reaching for a head of lettuce on a shelf that's been doused in rodent urine overnight. The council had to serve an emergency prohibition notice, shutting the store on the spot. Rentokil was called in, and doors stayed locked until Morrisons could prove every single rodent was eradicated and the store properly sanitized. But here's what should terrify you. This isn't just one rogue store. Recent reports revealed that over 30 Morrisons stores across the UK failed food hygiene inspections. 2 branches scored a shocking 0 out of 5, indicating major improvements required. Another 20 locations were caught with subpar 2 ratings. These poor scores often tie directly back to the produce sections. Inspectors reported dirty produce areas, rotten debris under shelves, and mould in the coolers. Former Morrisons employees have blown the whistle on what's really happening behind those swinging doors. One worker confessed they would rather go hungry than ever eat anything from that salad bar at their own store. Another described horrifying cross-contamination, with customers sticking their fingers into olive and salad trays that weren't being washed properly because the dishwasher lacked proper chemicals. The self-serve produce area had turned into what they called a germ buffet. These are insiders telling you the truth. Not enough staff, not enough training to maintain basic sanitation. Rushed closing routines that leave food residue and bacteria to fester overnight. And managers more focused on cost-cutting than safety. On UK forums, shoppers routinely rank Morrisons at the bottom for produce quality, noting that fruits and vegetables have gone downhill and expire faster than competitors. When you combine literal rats in the aisles with failing hygiene scores and whistleblower warnings, Morrisons has earned its spot as the worst place to buy your vegetables right now. Now, let's talk about Britain's largest supermarket, Tesco. Being the biggest doesn't mean being the best. Throughout 2024 and into 2025, Tesco has been drowning in complaints about the shocking state of its fruit and vegetables. On Tesco's own online forums, frustrated customers have shared photo after photo of mold-coated garlic bulbs and onions. One shopper said, "All of the fruit they gave me was fluffy once I took it out of the punnets." Another received peppers in their delivery that were literally liquid and had leaked all over the other groceries. These aren't isolated incidents. They point to systemic failures in Tesco's stock rotation and quality control, especially for produce sold online or late in the day. But here's where it gets worse. Tesco employees have revealed what's really happening in the back rooms. At some stores, night crews routinely leave refrigerated deliveries sitting out for 4 to 5 hours before stocking them, even though company policy says it should be 30 minutes maximum to protect freshness. Management has been aware of this for over 2 years, but either refuse to do anything or just don't care, one whistleblower wrote. The result? Milk going sour prematurely and vegetables decaying faster. This is self-inflicted spoilage. Industry observers have even coined a term for it, rotflation. They're accusing big supermarkets like Tesco of removing use-by labels to quietly sell older produce, leading you to discover that your fruits and vegetables expire just days after purchase. Tesco even had to issue a recall when they printed the wrong date on 300-gram packs of red cabbage. The mislabeling extended the shelf life by over 2 weeks, potentially tricking you into eating spoiled cabbage. The Food Standards Agency warned this posed a real health risk. From rushed staff to lax oversight to shelf life manipulation, Tesco's produce problems aren't occasional mistakes, they're patterns. When you shop at Tesco, you might bring home fresh salad fixings, or you might end up with fluffy strawberries, foul-smelling cucumbers, and peppers that collapse into liquid in your hand. It's a dice roll you shouldn't have to take. Sainsbury's, black mold growing on food shelves. Sainsbury's tries to position itself as premium, trustworthy, respectable. But in mid-2025, a Sainsbury's store in Maidstone became a disgusting case study in produce mismanagement that went viral across UK social media. Shoppers posted shocking photos of widespread black mold growing directly on food shelves and rotting vegetables sitting in the aisles. When local authorities investigated, inspectors found dirty, fungus-coated shelving throughout the entire store. The grime was so extensive that the branch's food hygiene rating plummeted from a proud 5 stars all the way down to a woeful 2. One customer described picking up an avocado only to have their finger go straight into it. They said, "Anything I looked at was out of date," and vowed never to return. Another witness described bananas that are black and splitting down the skin, alongside shelves stocked with expired items. The stench of spoiled produce and the sight of mouldy residue was so bad that one local said it turned my stomach. Sainsbury's head office scrambled into damage control mode, deep cleaning the store and retraining staff. But the viral images had already told the story, and the Maidstone incident wasn't isolated. The Food Standards Agency reported that Sainsbury's was among multiple chains caught misrepresenting hygiene scores. One Sainsbury's local in London was even caught displaying an old 5-star sticker after failing an inspection that found mice droppings and dirt under shelves. From pest problems to produce well past its prime, Sainsbury's has proven that even an upscale image doesn't prevent gross in-store conditions. When you see mouldy greens and squishy fruits at Sainsbury's, remember that a shiny facade can hide serious decay just beneath the surface. Now let's talk about Aldi. Aldi built its reputation on unbeatable value, but that value came at a hidden cost that was exposed in shocking fashion. In late 2024, Aldi was fined £64,000 after inspectors uncovered a mouse infestation at an East London store. Council officers found numerous mouse droppings scattered throughout food packaging and on open shelves. The droppings weren't tucked away in a back corner. They were among the bread displays. They were near the milk. They were in areas where you shop every week. The filth was so severe that the store was shut down immediately on the spot. Aldi claimed this was an isolated incident, but it exposed critical gaps in their hygiene defences. And shoppers have noticed another disturbing pattern. Produce from Aldi spoils astonishingly fast. UK customers flood social media with complaints about fruits and vegetables from Aldi arriving full of mould just a day or two after purchase, even before the best buy date. Some Aldi produce goes slimy or rotten almost immediately, sparking endless speculation about whether cost-cutting on storage and temperature control is to blame. While Aldi hasn't had as many high-profile scandals as some others on this list, the combination of pest risks and vegetables that seem to rot overnight makes it a supermarket you need to be extremely wary of. When you're paying bargain prices, you might be getting exactly what you paid for. Vegetables that were stored improperly and are already on their way to decay. So where should you actually buy your vegetables? Based on recent hygiene reports and customer feedback, your safest options are Waitrose, Marks & Spencer, and Ocado. These retailers consistently maintain higher hygiene standards and faster stock rotation. Waitrose and M&S have premium reputations to protect, which means they can't afford the scandals that plague budget chains. Ocado's delivery-focused model means produce moves faster from warehouse to your door, reducing the time vegetables sit around decaying. Local farmers markets and independent greengrocers are also excellent choices. Yes, you might pay slightly more, but you're getting vegetables that haven't been sitting in distribution centres for weeks and weren't handled by underpaid, understaffed workers rushing through their shifts. Which store shocked you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch a video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.